Alright, it's a Lock Up Shut Down podcast short episode for this one. We're just doing the lightning fast picks a little bit early since we have a lot of games on Thanksgiving. Main episode will be out on Saturday, I believe. Saturday or Friday, sometime around there. It's obligatory, it'll always be out at 2 p.m. though. Let's just jump straight into this, shall we, Zach? Let's start off with the first Thanksgiving game. It's the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions.
I said in the podcast that the Detroit Lions aren't going to win a game all season, so I got to go with the Bears on this one, as much as I don't want to put trust in the Bears.
The Bears did just lose to a backup this week against the Ravens. However, I believe that the Bears aren't going to lose to a Detroit Lions backup of all players. Give me the Chicago Bears on this one, and let's move on to the Cowboys and the Raiders.
A healthy Cowboys team would beat the Raiders, but unfortunately the Cowboys aren't healthy, missing Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, and for that reason I'll take the Oakland Raiders.
Oakland.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Oakland.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Give me
Oakland
Las
and Las
Vegas as
Vegas.
well. Injuries are definitely a concern for the Cowboys, and I just don't think without their star wide receivers they're going to be able to do much. I'm going to have to pick the Las Vegas Raiders in a surprise on this one. Next up, we've got the Bills and the Saints.
Bills have been inconsistent all season, but I think they'll rebound this week and beat the New Orleans Saints, who also aren't very healthy, and I'll take the Buffalo Bills.
I certainly am not picking Trevor Siemian for any given game, any given week. Give me the Buffalo Bills on this one. Now we've got the Sunday games. It's the Steelers and the Bengals.
Steelers looked pretty good against the Chargers, besides one play where they gave up 50 yards to Mike Williams at the end. And for that reason, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers, who seem to have figured out all their issues from the beginning of the season.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. The Bengals have looked great this season. The Steelers, I don't think are looking quite as great. It certainly is never a good thing when Big Ben is leading the charge, so I think we're going to have to pick the Cincinnati Bengals on this one. Next up, we've got Tampa Bay and the Indianapolis Colts.
Colts have got the best running back in the league. The Bucs have got the best quarterback in the league, but Jonathan Taylor and his 5 touchdowns won't be able to compete against Tom Brady, and for that reason, I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The Buccaneers have one of the best run defenses in the league. I think this is going to be one of the few weeks this season where we see Jonathan Taylor getting truly shut down. Give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. Next up, we've got the Panthers and the Miami Dolphins.
This will be an interesting game with Cam Newton playing once again for the Panthers, and they looked all right against the Washington football team, but I like the Dolphins, and I'm going to pick the Dolphins at home in this one.
That's a surprise. I'm going to have to go with Cam Newton. I think we're going to see a very good game, at least if you're a Panthers fan, and I think you're going to see a very bad game if you live in the state of Florida. Definitely give me the Cam Newton-led Carolina Panthers. Next up, we've got the Titans and the New England Patriots.
Interested to see what you say for this one, but I'm going to continue to ride the Mac Jones train until it lets me down, and with the Titans blunder against some other teams this season, I'm going to take the consistent New England Patriots in this game.
The Titans have had a very inconsistent season, but they are most definitely still the first seed in the AFC. I think I'm going to have to pick the Tennessee Titans despite Derrick Henry's injuries. They have to rebound after last week. There's not a doubt in my mind about that. Next up, a good divisional game, always a fun one to watch, despite how bad the two teams are. It's the Eagles and the Giants.
Eagles and Giants NFC East matchup. The Eagles on the rise with Jalen Hurts, I believe, and the Giants embarrassed themselves against the Buccaneers in a finally fired Jason Garrett, but that won't solve the rest of the Giants' issues. And I'll take the Philadelphia Eagles.
I absolutely agree with you. Jalen Hurts is going to have another one of his amazing games. Next up, we have the Falcons and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This game's not going to be too much fun for anyone watching it, but I think the Falcons will end up on the winning side of things in this situation. Cordero Patterson having best season he's ever had before, and I think he'll be able to get a win down here in Jacksonville.
Absolutely agree with you. Give me the Atlanta Falcons. Next up, it's two teams who've beaten the Tennessee Titans this year. It's the New York Jets and Houston Texans.
I'm gonna actually go with the Houston Texans on this one. Jets are without their star running back Michael Carter, and I think the Texans may have finally not flipped the switch, but are slowly improving after staying competitive with the Dolphins and now beating the Titans. I like what the Texans are doing, and I think they'll beat the Jets at home this week.
Listen here, Joe Flacco is an elite quarterback who I would pick any given day of the week. Except for right now, give me the Houston Texans and Tyrod Taylor. Next up, we have the Chargers and the Denver Broncos. I think this is an easy one. Give me Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
Yeah, there's not many teams that can stop Justin Herbert and the talent he has with Austin Eckler, especially the Von Millerless Denver Broncos. So, Los Angeles Chargers fairly easily in that one.
Next up, we've got the other team in Los Angeles. It's the Rams and the Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers are dealing with a few injuries right now with Aaron Jones out, and we've talked about how much those healthy teams have an advantage right now, and I think that's what the Los Angeles Rams are, except for Robert Woods. But I'm still going to take the Rams in the rebound week over the Green Bay Packers.
With the Packers, you have to have a next man up mentality. It's just like the Ravens last year. Give me the Green Bay Packers on this one. Next up, we've got the Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers. I think that's an exciting game to watch.
That'll be a good game too. 5-5 teams, but I'm going to pick the 49ers in this one. Deebo Samuel having a great season. Be fun to watch him versus Justin Jefferson. But I'm going to take Jimmy G in the QB battle over Kirk Cousins this time.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there. Again, these are very, very evenly matched teams. I think both of these teams are going to be competing for a spot in the playoffs this year. And I think it's going to come down to this game alone. But give me the Vikings to be the one to win. Next up, it's Sunday Night Football. The Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. Is that Sunday Night Football? I heard the NFL was changing things around constantly.
It is going to be Sunday Night Football. Nothing more classic than a AFC North Sunday Night Football matchup. And two teams that are inconsistent to say the least. But in this given week, I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens.
Last time that this happened in prime time, it was the Lamar Jackson Superman game where he went off to what everyone else assumes relieve himself, and then came back into the game, throws a game-winning touchdown, and wins the game. I'm going to have to say that the Baltimore Ravens are going to squeak by for a win against the Browns here. Last up, it's the Seattle Seahawks and the Washington Football Team.
Seahawks just can't seem to figure anything out right now in the recent weeks, and with Washington now winning 2 weeks in a row and a game out of the playoffs, I think they continue their hot streak again with a win over the Seattle Seahawks.
You know, this might be the first time ever that I'm agreeing with you on a Washington Football Team pick. I'm going to have to agree with you here. The Seattle defense just can't seem to do anything, you know, blitz boy and whatnot. Give me the Washington Football Team, and that is it. I think until Saturday, or whenever we upload the main video, it's time to lock up and shut down.